This is 100% parody, and I'm totally using clickbait to get viewers by saying that I'm running for mayor, and I am going to run for mayor at some point, maybe. But I'm going to do my campaign. This is going to be the genesis of the party. It's a new America First party, but that's what I'm going to run under, the America First party. More specifically, the New York First party. Okay, I'm going to be the New York division of the America Great Again party that will replace the dead Republican Party. You feel me? You feel me? If you don't want to be on board, then go join the other guys. Yeah, go join those other guys that you were completely eviscerating for the last 20 years. Now go be their friend. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna force some people's hands here. We're gonna use bullying tactics, man. We got to get back what's ours in any way possible. We're gonna bully, and that's really what I'm planning on doing when it comes to uh, being the mayor of New York City. We're gonna bully our way to get rid of some of this garbage. These fucking bike lanes. I'm sick and tired of these bike lanes. I went out today. Today was kind of a nice day. I walked around the neighborhood, the circulation of the neighborhood, a mile radius or whatever the kids call it, kilometers. I don't know. I'm not European, thank God. So I walked around the neighborhood, and boy, bike lanes, bikes everywhere. And I have a new complaint. These fucking bus lanes. These motherfucking bus lanes, bro. What is this? What is this? We pay the Metro card to have the automobile transport us someplace, so we need our own fucking lane? It's like, bro, you're paying a fee so you can have somebody drive you around because it takes gas or electric charge. I don't know, whatever the fuck the buses do. It's like someone is doing you a service. That's why you get paid. Someone is driving you somewhere. I don't know where in that contract it said they need to have their own lanes so they don't get stuck in traffic like all of us. Them big fucking. Have you seen them New York City buses, bro? Have you seen those fucking New York City buses? Big ass New York City buses. Look at this shit, bro. This shit be looking like a fucking transformer, bro. I'm like, hold on a second. I gotta pull this garbage. No, bro. These aren't New York City buses. Ugh, come on, bro. Help me out here. Help me out here. Maybe I shouldn't put big ass. Long New York City MTA buses. There you go. Got to put MTA so everybody knows. Look at these fucking beasts. These things are stupid. Hold on. I got to pull this fucking picture up. These big ass fucking. And these things turning, bro. These fucking things turning on these tight little street corners. Lucky that these buses just don't capsize and just turn the fuck over and ram right into one of them big, goofy, super long glass apartment structures where they're like 40 feet tall, 40 stories tall, and it's just fucking nothing but glass. Like these steel little silver pillars and then just fucking glass. It's got to be a cost cutting thing. They're like, why build so many walls and paint it when you can just do the necessary essential structuring and just have fucking windows everywhere? They're ugly. I want to tear them all down. We're putting a limit. No apartment building can be higher than 12 stories because we want to bring New York back to what it used to be when they had those mid-level size buildings and only the financial district had the really tall buildings. But these fucking 40-story apartment complexes with the super expensive rent where you're basically living in a fucking box. I guess some of them have balconies. The balconies are probably bigger than like the living room area, but you're paying all that money to live in a box. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I assume Tyler raided me, so thank you, Tyler, for the raid. I love when Tyler raids me. Anyway, forget New York City. A new metro area with wider roads would be so much better. Well, I live in New York City, so I have to run for mayor in New York City. I don't believe in moving somewhere and then running for mayor in the next 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm sticking it out. I'm in the battleground territory. I ain't scared. I ain't scared. We gonna win the state back. We're gonna take our city back. We're gonna take our city back, folks. We're gonna make our cities great again. They have those buses in Seattle too. They're fucking ridiculous. I know. And now imagine, New York City where there's interstates everywhere and they're making them fucking turns. Bro, it takes it like 30 seconds for the thing to turn. It's like looking at a fat woman turning around or something. Like, them big women on fucking My 600-Pound Life. Like, imagine how long it takes them to get up and just like walk to the bathroom. Like, that's how long it takes these fucking buses to turn. Make New York City great again. Yeah. We're going to make New York City great again. So we're going to get rid of these fucking bike lanes. Listen, I don't know how to draw a diagram. Let me see if I could find something. New York City roads before bike lanes and bus lanes versus after. Please give me something. Before bike lanes, New York City streets were primarily designed for cars, leading to congested and unsafe conditions for cyclists. Well, they shouldn't be on the fucking road. That's why. What the fuck, bro? Listen, folks, we used to have a proper city. We would have both sides. Okay, we'd have you got, in some areas, you got 4 lanes, 2 going that way, 2 going this way, depending on the avenue you're on. And then you'd have 2 lanes where you can park your fucking car. That's great, okay? Now we have fucking bike lanes, okay? So now those 2 lanes going each way essentially are just 1 lane, or just like one really big lane where it's just a fucking clusterfuck of traffic. So they've taken away, they've literally halved it by 50%, the amount of road that you can use to also have some acceptable parking. And then they extend it out, the parking spots, okay? So this is what really turns it into 1 lane now, is they still give you areas for parking, and it's shorter, and then they make it like you can't have this area because, you know, you got to make a turn and you need as much space as possible because those big fucking buses in the motherfucking bus lane, which also sometimes takes up as much as the fucking bike lane on some of these blocks. It's just ridiculous. They just come at us with all these things. And you know what it is the bike lanes are on the left side of the road and the bus lanes are on the right side of the road. So now you're just squished like a fucking sandwich. And God forbid you get an intersection and there's a bunch of traffic, and now that stops the traffic coming up here from this side, and it's all because of those fucking bus and bike lanes. Imagine if you had 50% more of the road that you can ride on. You would get through that spot because traffic would keep fucking flowing. But no, we have to have these fucking stupid bikers who don't even have a fucking clue. They don't look at the signs. They don't listen to the rules of the road. They don't get treated like you and I. They get special privilege for some reason because they want to ride their bikes and be healthy and be good for the environment. They get this special privilege. Meanwhile, we gotta get a traffic ticket every time we make a fucking turn from the right lane or some shit, a left-handed turn from the right lane. And meanwhile, these motherfuckers are crisscrossing. They going against the light. They're trying to make it past the cars. They're riding on the opposite sides of the road. It's fucking chaos. They want to share the road with the drivers, but they don't use the same fucking rules. And goddamn it, if you hit one of these stupid fucking idiots, you hit one of these clueless faggots, these daisies that don't know what their fucking name is or what day their daughter's birthday is, you hit one of these people and you're going to go to jail. They don't listen to the rules ever. Folks, we're getting radical here. Big government solutions. We're going to put a big fucking license plate on the back. You got to register your motherfucking bike, okay? If you have a bike that you're going to ride on the road, you have to register it, okay? And if you don't want to get caught riding on the road, then ride it on the fucking right side of the sidewalk. The right side of the motherfucking sidewalk. Just keep doing it. I know they technically tell you can't do that, but fuck them. They don't have any way to enforce their rules. Look what they do with these criminals. They let them out of jail because they have no way to enforce the rules anymore. Because they know if they try to enforce those rules now, there's going to be backlash. So they've created this scenario of allowing the worst of society to get comfortable. And then if there's any pushback, there's activist groups that are just waiting to fucking help them out, and judges too. So that's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to get rid of the bike lanes. We're going to get rid of the bus lanes. And that's going to cause a cascade effect, okay? People are generally going to be happier as they travel. They're going to get to places quicker. New York City drivers are going to calm the motherfuck down. They're already pretty rambunctious to begin with. Now they got to deal with Los Angeles-like traffic. We're going to get rid of these bike lanes. We're going to say you can only ride your bikes in Central Park, and if you want to use it as transportation, you have to ride it on the street corner, the far most right of the street corner, okay? Because they need to be sacrificial lambs just in case a car upsides and hits the curb. They need to get hit first because they're bikers, and they're not part of the sidewalk, and they're not part of the road, so we're just going to give them their own space on this sidewalk because, listen, you got people walking this way and that way. They don't need fucking that sidewalk. Like, they don't need to make the cars suffer. People, you should see how people walk on these fucking sidewalks. I'm just going to take video of it next time I go out. Just everyone's just there's always this space in between. Like, who cares if we go a little shoulder to shoulder? Some people could use the contact. That might make some people come. I'm just, forced body contact. It gets the pheromones going. We're gonna reproduce. We're gonna have more babies. Somebody might run into a girl and hit shoulders, and then she drops everything, and like a gentleman, he helps her pick it up, and she's just like, wow, that's so heroic. New York men, the standard's so low that you helping me pick up my stuff that you caused me to knock down is so heroic. And then dates will happen. People will generally be happier in the city, and a happier population means there's less people feeling like victims. We're going to stop this victim mentality of people. We're going to stop spending money on all this bullshit. But first, it starts with the bike lanes, because I believe, listen, we had Rudy Giuliani, whatever you want to say about him. Some people didn't like him because of the stop and frisk. I would say that's not a thing that I would want done, because that's quite literally against the Constitution. You can't have some generic, oh, well, under suspicion. You know what they could do for suspicion? I've had it happen to me before. I got stopped by 2 cops because I fit the description of a tall white male who had a green sweater on. And I was like, brother, green's one of the most common colors. A tall white person, yeah, I mean, I'm in Manhattan. Of course what the fuck? Like, what kind of description is that? That's not a probable description, and that's what they were able to do. So that's why it's the joke of, oh, tall 6-foot black man. It's like, oh, all of Harlem? I mean, let's be honest. So, but he didn't have bike lanes. That wasn't really a thing until the last decade and a half, I guess. These fucking bike lanes everywhere, man. And it's caused chaos. And I said it at the time. I was like, dude, this is going to cause chaos. I was like, there's barely enough space on these roads, and now they're taken away. And then they had the bus lanes, bro, these fucking bus lanes. It's the whole fucking block, basically, and you can't park your car. They don't need the whole fucking block. You could, like, a third of the block. Bro, it's like 75% of the fucking block. It's like fucking go into your parking space and wait to fucking get out, wait till someone lets you out, like every other normal driver. You're not driving to be the king of the road. You're driving because you have a business where people will pay you money for you to take them to place A to place B. Why does this need to be given special rules on the road? Let them drive like everybody else. We're going to go back to the old buses, too, because more buses on the road mean more people on the bus. Not those big, and we got to also minimize traffic, though, so those buses can get back and forth sooner, so more people can go to the pointless places they don't need to go very quickly, and then they can pay the bus driver to do it. But we're going to use the smaller buses again, because we don't want to clog up traffic. All this is about clogging up traffic, making people lose their fucking mind. They're losing their fucking mind every day because it takes 45 minutes to get from fucking Newark to Manhattan when it should take 20 minutes. Like, people are just losing their shit. They're losing their shit. They don't know what to do. They're being lied to about what problems are, and they keep voting for shit that they don't understand because they're so angry, stressed, and frustrated constantly because of these fucking bike lanes. These bike lanes causing a fucking ripple effect of traffic. Like, I don't know, maybe I could drive to Pennsylvania or Philadelphia in like an hour and a half if there wasn't so much fucking traffic getting out of the city. I had a friend visit me last summer. Trafficking getting out of the city was worse than getting into the city. Why? I don't know. You think most people travel into New York to go to work and then they leave and it should be easier, but you would think more people would live here, but I don't know. What the fuck? We're getting rid of the bike lanes. The bike lanes got to go, and the fact that nobody is talking about this is perplexing, honestly. I went to a doctor's visit today, and, most doctors are extremely liberal or whatever, or at least they act like they are because they don't know who's listening. But, man, boy, were they agreeing with me when I started talking about the bike lanes. They're like, yes. So this is a bipartisan issue, okay? Everyone hates the bike lanes. It doesn't help anything. In fact, it probably worsens the gas consumption because, sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic is just wasting gas because you're just sitting there with your car on, not doing anything. So it really doesn't do anything that they claim it does, and I think the liberals can be convinced on this. So if I don't win this mayoral election, I just hope that I further the issue about my hatred for the bike lanes. And I really, 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 really think we need to start treating the bikers like we treat car drivers, because if they're going to use the same road, they should use the same rules and the same regulations and whatever the fuck. And I don't care if that's a certain position, then let them drive back on the goddamn sidewalk like they used to when I was growing up. Like, bro, if a bike is fucking coming at you, if you see a bike guy drive all the way up the block, right? You have more than enough time to prepare to get out of his way. Okay, like it's not very difficult. Okay, these blocks are like they're like football field lengths almost. Okay, so if you see motherfucker at the opposite field 10-yard line while you're on the fucking 70-yard line over here, walk a couple of paces this way, give him enough room. Ha ha. But no, we have to put them on the fucking road. We have to put them on the road where you're making a left-handed turn when you have the light, and they just come out of nowhere and fucking bash into your goddamn door, and then you got to fix your door. And God forbid the motherfucker gets killed off of it. It's going to be your fault. You should have looked out your mirror. You should have made sure the biker wasn't there. Well, why doesn't he listen to the red light? What the fuck? Why do people who ride, but this is like fucking, this is some soft government subsidization. Oh, well, they're not driving cars, so we're going to let them ignore the rules. What? That's all it could be, right? Why do they, bro, I almost get hit by a bike every day, but now I just know. I see a bike guy coming, I literally just stop. And he stops. He eventually comes to a stop because I stopped. And he looks at me like, why didn't you just walk? And I'm like, because I don't want to get killed, you madman. I don't need my life coming to an end because fucking Pablo was trying to deliver pizzas and he ran right into me. I don't need that shit to happen, bro. I don't need to be anywhere important like that, okay? I'll take my time to get home if I go out and get a drink or a coffee. I don't need to be home that quickly. Why do I need to be home so quickly? I'm not going to, like, what am I trying to steal second? No, I'm just going to wait for the wind to drive me in. I like, what the fuck? Like, oh, I need to be home really quickly. Let me just run the light and hope I get hit by a fucking bike. These fucking bikes, bro. I hate them. I don't feel any sympathy for them. When I hear like a garbage truck hits a fucking biker, I'm like, oh, it's probably the biker's fault. They don't listen to the rules. They know those garbage truck men probably have a fucking pain in the ass of a time seeing what the fuck is behind them. Don't go next to a garbage truck, you dipshit. Holy fuck. Like, you don't need to be anywhere important. Sit behind the fucking garbage truck, wait for the garbage truck to turn, or go on the fucking sidewalk and get past the garbage truck. If they ride their bike on the sidewalk, they won't get hit by cars. I know, it's a novel concept. We have crosswalks. So when the bike is at a crosswalk, he has a perimeter in which he can stay in to ride his bike across the street as people walk across the street. We can have the people walk on the left side near the buildings, and then we can have the bicyclists, and it's a very thin bicycle, so you can have people going fro and from. You know what I'm saying? We'll have the bicycles here. They can have 40% of this road or this sidewalk, and then 60% can be for people going back and forth. We're people. Where we can squeeze in and out of objects. We have directional motor patterns in multiple directions. We only need one lane, really. 1.5 lane, 1.5 lanes, depending on how fat people are. Because, that's another problem in this country. The big old people with their, 45% body fat because they just love eating sugary products. So, we can do that. And then that way the bikers won't get hit. There will be less traffic. Like, there might be slightly more congestion when it comes to people walking on the road, the sidewalk, but that's not anything unusual. Like, it can't get any worse. But it just might also mean more people are in their cars, not walking places, because traffic's not a bitch. So then we stimulate the economy. People buy gas. People will spend to buy gas if they can get to places quicker, because time is money. And money is time. So if you can get to X, Y, and Z in 5 minutes, but you have to pay $25 instead of getting there in 40 minutes and having to pay $18, people will take that $7 difference, and then they will travel quicker. Now I'm going to read some of the comments that I missed. I'm sure I missed a lot. Oh, no, y'all just letting me rant? Okay. No more bikes and buses. Thank you. You're welcome. That's what Japan does. You have to register your bike. Well, you know what? They're not fucking wrong then. And I know people are like, oh, I shouldn't have to register my bike. But like, okay, at the end of the day, I'm not saying this is a federal policy. It should be specific. It's not even a state policy. It only applies to New York City. That's why I'd be the mayor. This is a New York City policy. Because in this fucking city, it makes sense. If you're going to let them operate on the road, this is what I'm saying. If they're going to operate on the road, you need a special license for it. If you're going to ride on the sidewalk within the crosswalk limitations when you cross the street, then you stay there. But if you approach there and your license, you know what the license is going to look like, so it won't involve any type of random stopping of people. If you can drive on the road, if you have a license to ride on the road, you're going to have a license plate. So that's how you'll know the difference. you will have a license plate if you want to drive on this road, because we have cars that require license plates. We have buses that require license plates. We have taxis that require license plates. We have Uber drivers that have license plates. We have everyone that has license plates that drive on the road. So you guys will have license plates. So that's how you will know when someone is just a casual bike rider who is riding on the sidewalk versus who has their road license. Here, you got the license. It's literally there. You got your license. And if you make that fucking left-handed turn from the right lane, you will get fined just like the car. The libs love the bike lanes. Bro, I don't know. I'm starting to hear from lots of people that I wouldn't normally hear it from. People are just so fed up with the bike lanes. I think their rage has overcome their need to control everything for the most part. Have you not heard them complaining about walkable cities? I mean, New York City is a walkable city, but like that's only because there's something everywhere. That's just the nature of the city. There's so many fucking people that most people don't want to. I mean, let's be honest. Like the 15-minute city thing. Like the average person I've discovered living in New York City doesn't have any fucking motivation to really go anywhere. There's like exceptional people. Like a lot of people want to be where they're at. That's why you get like a homestead and you stay there, right? So most of the time, people kind of just want to be where they're at. So when you're in a city like New York, all you see is that area a lot of the times, or maybe you venture out of it, go to school, go to work. It's just familiar to them. So, I mean, people kind of get into that mindset already where they, now they have everything that they need within distance. It's, like if you had I don't know, like in Red Dead Redemption, you can get, yeah, like those farms that have stores on it or some shit. It'd be like, yeah, this is our community. We have a local store. We have everything we need within arm's reach. Like people are kind of lazy, and that's kind of what they've been trained to be too with the media and the lazy, the bad diet stuff. Not really understanding how their bodies work, having this bad behavior and forced by the not even like just forced by the government, but like kind of like manipulated to you by TV and all their medical industries of experts that totally know everything. Because most of these medical people, what they do is they don't necessarily they don't realize that prevention is the best medicine. It's quite literally the best medicine, but they only practice themselves and the patients they have with what to do after you fucked up. What to do now after this stuff happened. How do we remedy this error? That's all they care about, and that's important to have because some people might find themselves in situations that they didn't mean to do something, but like they never give a fuck about things you can do to prevent something. When do they ever like tell their patients that, And then these pharmaceutical commercials are all like, ask your doctor if blank is right for you. And then your doctor's gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah. And, they get money from the scripts and the prescriptions they write. So it's sort of just like, I'll just give the people what they want and we'll prescribe it. They're drug dealers who are basically playing on their population's addiction to make money. They're no better than an actual drug dealer. They literally do the same thing a drug dealer does, but they pretty it up a little bit. You need a prescription from a doctor to get some of this shit that's gonna fuck you up. Whether it fucks you up because it numbs your brain or because over time, or it fucks you up because it numbs your brain in the moment for 2 or 3 hours. All it does is lead to the numbing of the brain, which is what they've been able to do with some of this shit. Whether it's the fluoride in the water, whether it's the artificial sugar in the drinks and the food and the dyes and all that shit, they found a way to numb people's parts of the brain of critical thinking while unnumbing things like, immediate pleasure. They've found like these chemical compounds that do it, probably from their MK Ultra research, and they do it and they put it in small dosage so it accumulates over time. So it's not an immediate effect. So you don't notice it immediately. You don't like when you if you were to like take a picture of yourself every day in the mirror as you were growing up as a teenager, going through a growth spurt, you wouldn't notice it from day to day that you might be getting taller. And then you just look at picture 1 and picture 365 and you're like, holy shit, I got taller. What's going on in here? Oh, I was just announcing that I'm going to run for mayor and I'm going to abolish bike lanes because I hate bike lanes and I hate bus lanes. Look at this fucking beast of a bus. Look at this shit. Unbelievable. 420. Nice. Now I'm going to bring somebody else up here so I can have somebody to talk to now that my campaign is over. Now that my campaign's over. Cough, cough. Well, I sent the invite to Melted, who was just on the Tyler whatever mayor buses, bikes. Yeah, we're going all over the place. The real drug dealers. Where do I vote? Just send a mail-in ballot to New York, probably. They'll be like, "Oh wow, he's a citizen of Toronto or something." Yeah, just let him vote. He's probably voting Democrat, but little do they know, you're really voting for the eliminate bike lanes party, the best party. Some say it's the most American first position I can think of for New Yorkers. Like that's what you got to do to get New York to get into the ethos of America first. You need to get somebody who actually understands the city, and you need to because like you need to air out the frustrations that all the everyday people hate. Because a lot of the times when people look at like who they're going to vote for, they look at the immediate issues. In my butt. Ooh, you voted in his butt. There you go. Paper ballots only, boys. Change your name, Andrew Cuomo, and you'll win. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get that much support. I don't know if I believe anything they say about that, but uh, I'm saying you got to find issues. So New Yorkers will vote for issues that are personal to them or what they think is right. So if you have nothing that is personal to them, they will just vote for whatever they've been voting for because they just don't know any better and they're told that they should. But if you do something that's very personal to them, I think they'll change their mind about that because like bike lanes directly affect them. Some of these policies that they don't necessarily see that they hear about, it's bad from Republicans. They don't necessarily see that, and I think sometimes New Yorkers get offended when they talk the way they do about New York, and it makes them not want to. It makes them like less encouraged to go to their side. So like they'll hear like, oh, there's always X, Y, and Z. I would be afraid to walk in the city, and then you get the normal person who lives in New York that nothing happens to them when they walk to the city every day. Like there's these certain pockets of the city where stuff happens, and there are certain people who don't know how to act around wild erratic people, and I'm not saying that that's their duty, but like if the city's not going to save you, you better do what you can to personally survive in a moment like that. But like they hear how bad the city is and how nobody wants to be here and how they do all this stuff and they just kind of like screw those people, they don't know what it's like to be a New Yorker. You gotta listen, a good coach knows how to placate to an ego and he also knows how to not placate to it. You got to remember Donald Trump is a New Yorker. You think Donald Trump's not the only one who acts that way. So I think maybe if we just change the approach with some of these New Yorkers, we got to personalize these issues for them. First, we got to show them the destruction of the bike lanes. Then we got to talk about how the fucking bus lanes are stupid too. It's just a really dumb concept. Dumb concept. Like, what? The taxpayer already gives you fucking money to operate, and now you're gonna fucking give them special rules for their fucking the bus lanes and the bike lanes. We literally subsidize the whole industry. It's like literally we're taking resources from you so we can have this service that we're going to give special rules to that you can't have even though you pay for the fucking service. What type of crazy shit is that? Citizens literally pay for the MTA and they raise their prices all the fucking time even though they've been incompetent for their whole existence. They literally pay the system to exist. And the system is allowed to have special rules on the road, but they're not? Why? They're just a service that drives people around the place. They don't need to have special fucking rules. It's not more important that these people in the fucking bus get where they're going first before me. Who the fuck said that? Like, get rid of that shit. If we're going to pay taxpayer money for the MTA, them motherfuckers got to abide by the same rules as everybody else. Start driving, Joey? If I start driving, it'll frustrate me even more. Because then I'm going to get pissed at these fucking bikers in the bus lanes. Then I'm liable to do something that there's no return from.